I've owned a Canon 6D Mark II since the year of its release in 2017. But it's no good, right? The Canon 6D Mark II? Pfft, what a load of rubbish that is. Hey guys, and welcome to Let's Click Photography. My name's Dave, and today I want to share with you my thoughts on why the Canon 6D Mark II may well be Canon's most underrated camera ever. So let's start with what absolutely is the biggest thing to love about this full frame camera from Canon: the image quality. The Canon 6D Mark II just offers really nice images consistently. It produces those great Canon camera colors, a lovely resolution of 26 megapixels, and at 26 megapixels the sensor housed within the Canon 6D Mark II just offers a perfect balance between pixel size and resolution, and also helps to give it fantastic low light capturing ability. As far as the photography produced by the Canon 6D Mark II goes, it's never ever let me down over years of shooting with it. And even when I have made a mistake with exposure, the raw files contain just a great amount of detail, making recovery in post just really easy. For a full frame DSLR camera body, the 6D Mark II just feels like a really good size and really good weight. It's got good ergonomics, certainly for me, and it feels weighty enough to know that you are carrying around a proper bit of kit, but not so weighty that your back aches after a day shooting with it. The rugged body is weather sealed and it just feels really well built, and it does cope really well in bad weather, and you can trust me on that. I have had it out in some rough storms. A huge plus for a lot of photographers, especially landscape photographers and travel photographers, is built-in GPS. Now, this function works really well, always delivers pinpoint accuracy, and has a lot of features that you can customize to help minimize any drain on the battery that GPS usually tends to give you. And in terms of connectivity, it has Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, enabling you to control the camera from another device, and keeps you in touch on the go, being able to share your images and to back up your images on the go using that fast Wi-Fi to any of your connected devices. Now, I'm a huge fan of flip out screens, and the one on the Canon 6D Mark II is a fully articulating flip out screen. It's also a touch screen as well, and the touch screen is really responsive and of course comes with those easy to navigate Canon menus. Also easy to navigate is the camera body itself. The camera body is set out much in line with Canon's APS-C range, nodding towards exactly where this camera is positioned in Canon's DSLR lineup. The camera is very much aimed at an enthusiast, or for those aspiring pros of the future. And by having that body that everybody who comes from the APS-C Canons will be so used to, just makes this a really easy way to step into the full frame world. But whilst it may have a nod towards that, it is full of a ton of professional features such as customizable buttons, customizable menus, customizable modes, time-lapse recording, interval timers, anti-flicker shooting, plus loads more that you will find within the menu system on the Canon 6D Mark II. It has full compatibility with third-party and of course native flash units and lighting units, and compatibility with Canon extenders, which coupled with certain Canon zoom lenses will give you full use of all of the autofocus points, which is just a great function to have. There's a range of relatively affordable, by Canon standards, attachments and add-ons, such as a battery grip. And speaking about the battery, it lasts, and it lasts. Even when using live view, the battery performs fantastically well, with Nion I think out of factory doing somewhere in the region of 1,000 shots per battery life, which is way ahead of much of its competition in the Canon stable. Hey guys, time for a little poll. If you rate the Canon 6D Mark II, then hit down below that thumbs up icon. If you do not like the Canon 6D Mark II, then let everybody know that by hitting the thumbs down icon. And to keep everybody in the loop of where this race is and this poll is on any given date, hit a comment down below saying exactly what those stats are and whether the Canon 6D Mark II is in the lead for the love or in the lead for the hate. As mentioned earlier, the low light capabilities of this camera are fantastic. It deals with noise really well, and the native ISO supports this. The video features of this camera are more than sufficient for the everyday shooter, and actually this is a highly sought after camera for vloggers, with that flip out screen and full HD quality available at 24, 30,
50 and 60 frames per second.
Plus the controls between video and stills mode are independent, so as you flick between them you maintain your controls and your settings independently for each feature, which is perfect. And yes, I am filming this on the Canon 6D Mark II. It also comes with the ability to record time lapses in 4K, plus has in-body stabilization for video as well. There's hundreds of EF mount lens choices available for the camera, and there's a huge pre-loved market for EF lenses as well. So if budget is something that you're conscious of, then you've got loads of options out there for lenses to add to this camera at a pocket-friendly price. And that does give it a huge advantage, in my opinion, over its mirrorless counterpart, the Canon RP, where the native lens choices will set you back a pretty penny. And currently there is no used market for RF lenses. At new, the Canon 6D Mark II will set you back around £1,200 to £1,400, equivalent in dollars as well, which for a full frame camera offering you this much picture quality, I think is pretty good value. Now the autofocus is great, it's really responsive, it's accurate and fast, and yes, the autofocus points are a little bit clumped together in the middle of the viewfinder, but in reality I've never actually had too much of a problem with that. And of course in live view it acts like a mirrorless camera, and you have the full width and height of that full frame sensor to choose your autofocus points. So many reviews upon release for this camera did a Canon 6D Mark II versus a Canon 5D Mark IV or even a Canon 5D Mark III, but they were missing the point really. The Canon 6D Mark II isn't supposed to be any of those cameras. It is its own camera, and it's a joy of a camera to use. Every time I pick it up, it just reminds me what a really seriously great stills camera body it is. And as comparison is the thief of joy, this should be judged on its own merit. And on those merits, I judge the Canon 6D Mark II to be a fantastic full frame camera, which actually represents really good value. But if you do want to compare the Canon 6D Mark II with the 5D Mark IV or the Canon R6, then you can see exactly what I think of those cameras by hitting one of these videos, and I will see you over on those videos. But from me, for now, ciao.